Democratic lawmakers are slamming Joe Biden for another broken promise, this one about refugees. So first, before I get into the promise that was broken specifically, let me first start with this op-ed that Biden wrote, or part of it, in 2019. He wrote this, quote, "My faith teaches me that we should be a nation that once again welcomes the stranger and shows a preferential option for the poor, remembering how so many of us and our ancestors came here in a similar way. It's not enough to just wish the world were better. It's our duty to make it so." What incredible words from Joe Biden. Of course, Joe Biden, as usual, all talk. Here's what just happened. So as recently as February, President Joe Biden decried his predecessor for the historically low cap placed on the admission of refugees into the United States. He proposed raising the cap to more than 60,000 this year and 125,000 the next. Yet on Friday, Biden signed an emergency determination that keeps in place the Trump administration's limit of only 15,000 refugee admissions per year. The decision was decried by Democrats in Congress. So I'll get to some of that reaction in a minute here. But to put these numbers in context, because you see this out of context, it can be, it's hard to place these numbers if you don't really have anything to compare it to. So let me show you what Canada has. So this is as of 2019 or 2018, the actual numbers, but this is consistent as Trump was still president until last year. Canada now brings in more refugees than the U.S. And this is not just per capita. We're talking about overall. So even though the U.S. has 10 times the population of Canada, Canada brings in or resettles more refugees than the U.S. does. So you can see here how the numbers break down. Under Obama, big numbers coming in. So Obama's last year, almost 100,000. And then once Trump came in, it dropped immediately down to about 30,000, and then dropped even further in 2018, where Canada surpassed the U.S. here. So the U.S. at this point around just under 30,000, it looks like. And now, 2019, 2020 was down to 15,000. So Canada resettling more refugees, even though we have 10 times, or even though the U.S. has 10 times the population. And more data on that if you want to go through it. You can look up Pew Research. They have several graphs on this breaking down similar numbers showing you just how low the U.S. numbers are compared to Canada. Now, some of the reactions here from Democrats. Ilhan Omar tweeting out, "As a refugee, I know finding a home is a matter of life or death for children around the world. It is shameful that POTUS is reneging on a key promise to welcome refugees moments after Schakowsky and Jayapal, myself and others, called on him to increase the refugee cap." AOC here, tweeting out, "Completely and utterly unacceptable. Biden promised to welcome immigrants and people voted for him based on that promise. Upholding the xenophobic and racist policies of the Trump admin, including the historically low and plummeted refugee cap, is flat out wrong. Keep your promise." Last one here. This is Adam Serwer, who is not a Democrat, but a staff writer at The Atlantic. Tweets out, "Biden maintaining Stephen Miller's refugee policy is not something anyone should defend. It's a disgrace." So this really puts it into perspective here. Joe Biden's refugee policy right now, the exact same as Stephen Miller's was under Donald Trump. Just another broken promise. And this one, I assume more Democrats are going to come out. I think more have come out and criticize this. But criticisms on Twitter are only going to take it so far. They have to actually be able to utilize their power, hold up bills, do something that will frustrate Biden to the point that forces him into action. Until that happens, I don't see Biden changing this policy.